Okay. All right, we're recording now.
Maybe I'll start with the.
Can you hear that? You step on it a little louder.
Probably not.
A little louder.
Yeah,
Give us the. No, it's not aggressive enough. Anyways, welcome everyone. Hello. This is our first podcast of ever, but also of 2025. I have Mark here. Say hi, Mark.
Hi.
Hi. So, you guys probably already know who he is, but for those who do not, Mark is the owner of Tsunami Volleyball. Woohoo!
Woohoo.
I need a soundboard. I need the stream deck that where you push a button
That would be cool.
and like you hear like applause or like laughter if I say something funny. It's like ha 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 ha. Anyways, yeah. So Mark is the owner of Tsunami Volleyball. You probably have seen him around. He does play a lot of drop-ins or tournaments in the GTA, but we thought that we would start coming out with these podcasts just to just chat a little bit about the volleyball world. I don't really see a lot of volleyball podcasts out there, so you know, for those who are listening, welcome. So, Mark,
What's up?
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, mainly your volleyball career? I think that's what a lot of people kind of want to know is where you came from, because everyone starts somewhere. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I've been playing volleyball pretty much most of my life.
I'm thinking of like a little baby Mark coming out of the womb, pumping balls and spiking balls.
The first time ever playing volleyball in my life was when I was like 12. I don't know. Like grade 4 is like the minimum age you can start a sport. At least in my like school district. Yeah, I played in elementary school, loved the sport, got into high school, got into the team, was on the starting lineup for both elementary and high school.
Must be nice.
I wouldn't say that I was like the best player, but I played in high school. I played power. Yeah, and then after high school, I was doing a lot of drop-ins. Met a lot of different people. This was in Toronto. Yeah, and then I moved up to Sudbury for school. I joined the volleyball club up there. It'd be really cool if some of the people that I played volleyball with up north listed this podcast. That would be really cool.
That would be cool. I'm sure they
Shout
would.
out.
I'm sure some of them know that you run this organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening to this, what's up? Miss you guys. Yeah. So then I joined the LUVB club, and then I got a job to be the intramural sports coordinator at my university, and did that for 2-3 years. Then COVID hit. And then I stopped playing for a little bit. Did switch sports kind of to rock climbing, and then now I'm back.
No, I'm
So,
back.
Yeah, so now
Brief
I'm doing
hiatus.
a lot more. Yeah, I'm doing a lot more volleyball. I haven't really played in the OVA or whatsoever because it's too expensive. So I did a lot of drop-ins pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much my whole career. Now I run tournaments, run drop-ins, clinics, this and that.
Yeah.
I just yeah.
I would say you organize a lot more than you play now these days.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Honestly, I think it's like a blessing and a curse.
Do you miss playing? I see that you get the itch sometimes. I see you sometimes watch people like play at our drop-ins and you're like ready for someone to go home early because then you can like pop in and sub in for them.
I do get a little bit giddy when someone's like, "Oh, we need one." I'll be like putting on my shorts. Right away.
Yeah. So Tsunami apparently has been an idea since when?
Since October 2023, probably even earlier than that, honestly.
Yeah.
It's because I came back from running all the sports leagues in my university, and I like missed the sense of community, so I wanted to build something of my own. in the city,
Also,
my hometown.
I'm really sorry. I'm like, if you hear me coughing throughout this podcast, I'm so extremely sorry. I I'm sure everyone already knows who I am. I'm Jess. I help Mark run the organization, mainly the back end stuff. I'm just the
I'm
one.
gonna interrupt you. You do a lot more. Like she does way too much, honestly. But on like if she doesn't do it, then I'm stuck doing it, and I did it one couple weeks, and while she had pneumonia, it is terrible.
That's why I'm coughing. I caught pneumonia in 2024, and it is the 17th of January in 2025, and I am still dealing with this lingering cough. It's actually quite terrible. I tried playing volleyball when I thought I was getting better to the point where I thought that I could play. I was very, very wrong. We played in a tournament together, me and Mark, and I was setting, first of all. But I remember during that tournament, I actually had to go to the bathroom and cough. I had a coughing attack so bad that I actually threw up my morning breakfast into the toilet. I actually projectile vomited it into the toilet. It was kind of gross.
What a way to um say hi to 2025.
Yes, I know. It's still not gone, the pneumonia. I am playing this weekend, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I help Mark run Tsunami. I mainly do mostly the marketing and the accounting and stuff for it. But
Wait, so then what do I do?
you're the brains behind it. Oh God.
Not much, eh?
That's so mean. No, I disagree. I think that without you, like this would definitely not be where it is. I think that you have a lot of good ideas and a lot of important input on a lot of the decisions that happen with this organization. These tournaments would not be a thing if you didn't exist, because straight up, like, you should see some of the stuff that Mark does for these tournaments, like figuring out the schedule and then like figuring out how to put in these scores and all this stuff into like this huge Excel sheet to figure out, you know, where this team plays based on point difference. Girl, I could not. My head would explode.
I love Excel sheets.
So
That's like 90% of the reason why I do this.
that being said, we are coming out with a website, so no more funky Excel sheets for us.
No more Excel sheets.
Yes.
Kind of makes me sad.
But also because we are doing a tournament every single month, so I fear that there is not enough capacity in both our brains to have as much Excel sheets as we want.
Yeah, capacity and time. Really, that's all that is.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, hold on. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. You said you played Power mainly in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, maybe I'm a little out of touch, but I think that we're not out of touch. I might be a little jaded, but I see you play middle a lot more these days.
I hate it. I'll be honest.
Is Power still your favorite position?
I think I enjoy. I can find enjoyment in every position that I play in, which like it's fine with me if nobody wants to play middle. Then I'm okay playing middle. Do I enjoy it? Versus other positions, not as much, but like if I gotta do what I gotta do, then I'll go.
You're gonna hate me for saying this. I actually like playing with you more when you're in middle than Power.
Why?
Because we can run quicks. I remember this one time we were in a drop-in and we ran a quick. It was actually pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I didn't even know I had that kind of ability in my hands to set you a quick, and I remember we got the point off of that because again it was a quick. It was like a high rec drop-in. So the fact that we did that, first of all, is a little BM. Shame on us. But I remember people were like, whoa.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was cool. That's why I like it when you play middle more than Power. Very controversial. Actually, you know what? I actually don't mind it when you play right side either. I can never give you a good right side set, but you're actually very good at right side.
Thank you. I'm terrible at defense, but
that's not true.
I think like right side has definitely grown on me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think right side is fun, even like in the back row, because like I'm just like expecting a set. It's almost like, ooh, am I gonna get set or am I not? It's fun. Right side's fun.
Right side's actually a lot of fun. I think if you have a really good setter, it's actually, in my opinion, funner to play right side than it is to play Power.
Yeah, because I think people don't expect.
You never expect a right side set these days. Not many people.
Yeah.
There's a reason why in intermediate drop-ins or lower, no one ever wants to play right side, and it's because usually the setter does not know how to set right side. So you're just kind of sitting around waiting for a lucky ball to come to you. That's what happened
Mhm.
to me. Mark made me play right side the first time we played a drop-in together.
I did not make you play right side. It was not me.
But to be
I
fair,
was also forced into a
yeah,
position
he
that I
played
did not
he
wanna
played
play,
middle.
which was what? Middle.
So I think you played quite well that day though. I remember you did well the first time we played together.
I was straight chilling.
He was chilling. I was chilling.
Straight chilling.
I was never gonna get a set anyway, so I was just being chilling at that point. So okay, would you say that middle is a position you want to improve on, or what is a position that you wanna get better at? I think that if you want to be a good player, you should almost like understand all the positions on the court and be able to play all the positions on the court to a certain extent.
I think it definitely helps, knowing the roles, like different roles. Middle is something. It's okay. Here's the thing. Here's my like gripe about it.
Your
I
what?
my gripe.
What does that word mean?
I didn't even know. I just used it because it's like a intellectually
Like your hot
sounding
take?
word.
A
Yeah,
hot
my
take.
hot take.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a better way of saying it, I guess. My hot take. Middle blockers. Have you ever noticed how tall they are?
Yo,
Okay, here's the thing. Why are middle blockers usually the tallest on the team?
because they have to block so much.
Okay, but let's
Yo, I'm not good enough at volleyball to be able to figure this intellectual IQ stuff out.
Okay, so if you're a middle blocker, you're usually pretty tall. The reason why the tallest people on the court are usually middle blockers is because the effort that it takes for them to jump and reach over to block is a lot less versus someone who is shorter.
True.
So it takes me twice as much energy and time to get up to block versus someone who's actually pretty tall.
I think you're actually a very good middle. Do you know how like whenever I play women's and sometimes they make me play middle because I'm a little like taller than average, and I think I'm absolutely dog water at middle, but in reality I'm actually not that bad. This is on a women's net. I want to be very clear that this is on a women's net. If I was playing middle on co-ed, I would get dumpstered on.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, but you know, like, I think middle is.
So you want to get better at middle is what you're saying.
No, I don't.
What do you want to get better at then? What is one skill that you think that you could improve on?
My setting.
Yep.
If you saw Jess's face right now, she really just wants to talk about. You know what? I'll let you talk about it.
Are you sure?
Go. Yeah.
No.
How about I talk?
I think you should talk about it because I feel like it's a very traumatic experience for you.
It is a very traumatic.
I would honestly, you know what? To be fair, if I was in his position, I'd be pretty traumatized too. So
So I played a tournament, over in the West End, northwest, ish, of Toronto. I was supposed to set, but I don't know. I think it's I'll give you excuses and then I'll give you the reasons. My excuse. I didn't even tell you what happened. So what happened was I was in the first game. I got called on doubles maybe like 5-6 times.
it was like not 5-6 times throughout the game. It was 5-6 times in a row
In a set.
in a set. Like he got called on a double. They lost the point.
It just sucked.
The other team served.
Anyways.
It was terrible. I felt so bad for him.
I got called on that like 6 times, and I was like, okay. I asked my brother. I was like, can you set? He's like, yeah. So saved me, but at the same time, I felt terrible. So that's what happened. My excuse, my excuses, sorry, are it was very humid that day. So it was in the summer, very humid that day, and we were playing with Mikasa balls, so the humidity was just the moisture was just sticking to the ball. Every single time I touched the ball, it felt like it was like spinning in my hands for a second.
Do you prefer Mikasa's over Molten's?
I actually do.
How can you say that, but then you don't like setting? So you like setting Molten balls, but you don't like setting Mikasa balls. But then when it comes to hitting,
I like hitting Mikasa balls versus
that's really funny.
molten ball. I don't know why. I think I feel more of the weight behind a hit
Oh yeah.
on a Mikasa ball
Yeah.
versus a molten ball.
Yeah.
Like molten ball, I feel like I can flick it and it goes flying.
Oh yeah, yeah. Molten balls are lighter, I think.
Very light,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will also
Anyways.
give an excuse. I also Mark before that tournament. We've done a few tournaments before that. Every single tournament we've done before that, he has been either playing power, middle, or right side. So, to be fair, he did not get the setter practice that he needed before that tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So-
Yeah, those are my excuses, the reasons. Let's talk about the reasons. The one big reason is that I'm trash at setting.
You know what? I can confidently say this is gonna be crazy. I can confidently say that I'm a lot better than Mark at setting. Everything else I suck. I can't pass, and I can't hit. But setting, I think I'm a lot better than him.
I am confident in that statement.
Our teams are playing against each other. Like we're doing a drop in this week. We're doing a 72-person drop in this weekend. First of all, that was a mistake. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Is it something that we do like every Saturday?
Yes,
Or-
yes, we do drop-ins every Saturday, but we'll talk
Where
about
do
that
you
in a
do it?
minute.
Okay.
This drop-in that we're doing, me and Mark are on separate teams, and I purposely put us on separate teams so I can set or dump the ball on him. And when that happens, I'm probably gonna teabag him.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you even said that.
Because I that's like I told him once way back in the day when we were playing against each other. I think I hit a ball like off his block and it went out and then we got the point. I think I wrote that high for like maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more or less.
That's probably the coolest thing I've ever done in my entire volleyball career was tool Mark. A lot of people want to block him and tool him in our drop-ins.
It's crazy. Last week I was playing an intermediate and a regular who comes every Saturday, pretty much every Saturday. I was actually trying to swing like pretty hard, and I got straight up blocked.
Yeah.
You know who you are. If you're listening to this, you know who you are, and I'm gonna get you back. Just kidding.
A lot of people in the
But-
community for some reason are making it like their life goal to like block you or tool you. I don't know why.
It kind of makes me happy.
Well, yes, but you're not like a D1 varsity volleyball player. It's just Mark, guys. Like he's not.
Yeah, it's guys. There's no one special, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy was like. Yeah, that was like his career high, like coolest thing he's ever done in his entire life. That being said, can you talk about some cool things that you've done on the court?
Some cool things.
Yo, Mark has done some pretty crazy stuff on the court, I will say.
I think a lot of the crazy things that I've done were like balls that we're almost definitely not going to come back into the court, but that I think drives me to try to get it. Like the ball's up in the air going the opposite way of the net, and I just turn into a golden retriever.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I think I get that from badminton actually.
It might be a badminton thing. Mark is actually cracked at badminton, not to like again stroke his ego or anything, but I like watch him play badminton sometimes, and I'm like, how have you not gone to play like professionally?
Badminton's a hard sport.
Badminton is a hard sport, but we're gonna stop talking about badminton because first of all, I suck at badminton. You think that I'd be good because like, anyways, anyways. I do want to say I think that if your university had a varsity team, and I think if you tried out as a lib, you would probably make the team. If you tried out as anything else, they would say no because you're not tall enough.
Definitely.
But
That was something that I've like accepted.
yeah, Mark has saved balls in tournaments that I'm telling you, like you watched like the clips back, it's like I didn't even think that was possible.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy when it comes to like saving balls. I've seen him climb a wall and jump off a wall before to save a ball. I think we got
That's
that point too. That was like the craziest thing I've ever seen happen.
I've been wanting to do that at Pac-Man so badly.
I wish we could
And
have like find the clip, but it was like
when I did it, like people have called me Spider-Man before. I felt like Spider-Man. 100%.
this is crazy. Yo, I'm telling you, like, this is like the shit that like you see on TikTok and stuff. Like, I wish we could find the clip, but again, like we have so many runs recorded that I can't find it.
It's okay. I'll do it on Saturday
Right.
if there's a wall to jump off.
Yeah, like he's done it maybe like 2 or 3 times. Mind you, the other times like he didn't really save it, but he climbed the wall. I was just like, bro, like how? It's pretty funny. I wish like, you know what, next time we record it, I'm gonna clip it and I'll post it on our Instagram. But it's
I think I'm pretty sure that is illegal.
what, climbing the wall?
I'm pretty sure there's a rule in.
Yeah, of course. It's like, you know, me getting on someone's shoulders and blocking a ball. It's like the same thing.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it's fun.
That being said, do not, you know, do as I say, not as I do, because do not ever try to risk your body trying to save a ball like that. You will hurt yourself. I honestly, like, Mark, it's not even worth it. Sometimes I think you should just let it fall on the floor, because I was scared that you were just not going to land properly.
There was like even the other day when we did a tournament, in the East End, it was like, I think it was the last point.
Oh yeah.
It was me and you were going for the ball,
Oh yeah.
but I popped it up.
Yeah.
It was like almost into the other court, but I popped it up, went over, but we lost the point.
There was one ball that me and Mark both dove to save, and we got the point. That was cool.
Was it that one?
No, this was in it was a Matt Jen tournament.
Oh yeah.
Yo, shout out to Matt Jen with those tournament guidelines. God bless your soul for coming up with those.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably, what was the coolest thing for you then?
The coolest thing for me.
Blocking a guy.
Blocking a guy. That's a good one. Yo, yeah. Maybe that, or again, like I when I learned to setter dump a ball, I should not have done it as much as I did, because it's not very fair to the team, but I abused that skill far more than I should have. I had another girl on another team call me a bitch for dumping a ball on her.
Like with.
It was meant with like not like malicious intent, but it was the fact that I had already done it on their team before in another tournament. And I remember like their team had a coach too, and the coach, like, I'm pretty sure went up to their team during their huddle and was like, you need to watch the setter because she's gonna dump it on you. And lo and behold, I did it twice. That's like the biggest compliment is when people, especially as a setter, is when people start calling out where you are. Like I was playing in a women's tournament, and the other team that we were playing against, they were cracked. Like I will give them credit. They were nasty. Like they did beat us. We did put up like a good fight. But I think technically they were just a lot better because they've been playing together for much longer. But I think like maybe halfway through the first set, they started calling out where I was on the court, whether I was front court or back court, whether I was able to dump or not. And to me, I think that's like the biggest compliment is getting marked like that. Have you ever been marked before?
I don't want to say like, oh, definitely. but yeah, I think
you were playing middle that one time, and you were telling me about how they were calling out where you were and stuff.
Oh yeah, I was subbing for a league for my brother, and I was up front, and well, actually, whenever I was up front, they would mark me, and I'm like, I just want to hit, man. Like, can you just like let me swing, please? Cause I think I was playing middle.
You're playing middle, yeah.
It was terrible.
You didn't have fun?
No, actually, that was probably one of the funner. I don't want to say runs, but
like
one of the funner games that I played. Cause yeah, I think the competition was pretty even. I would say it's pretty even. Like the other team they were swinging hard, so like I had the responsibility of doing my best to be there for the block. And when I was hitting, I had to actually like start to pick sides, like where to swing, and be a little bit more mindful where to put the ball.
Right.
So any time where I'm in the game and I actually have to think, it like pulls my focus and I'm like
Okay.
zen.
Yeah. That's cool.
Feels good.
Were you playing middle follow during that?
Ugh.
During that league? I'm telling you, I don't know why Mark hates middle follow. I don't know what I learned 5-1 playing middle follow, and I think the first time someone was like, we're doing power follow, I was like, what the fuck is that?
Middle in 5-1. In five, you hear me?
I'm listening. Yeah, I'm
In 5-1, I honestly go to any resource. Power is always following set.
I disagree.
Cause there's too many like holes, and the rotations are so messed up. I'm 100% sure, in full confidence, I will say there's no such thing as middle follow in 5-1 or any rotation like whatsoever.
That's a very.
I think even in like 6-2 or
That's a
4-2, the power is always following.
It's a very hot take. I played 4-2 in high school, and it was middle follow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What did you
That's all
play in
I'll
high
say.
school?
We played 6-2, and the power was always following center.
6-2 is back row setter, right?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, because we had two. So the reason why is because we wanted all three. We wanted all three hitters up in the front
Oh, cool. We're
to swing,
oh yeah.
and we had a left-handed
Oh,
right side.
a left-handed right side. Mm.
Yeah, so we, I'm pretty sure we utilized him a lot. Most of the hits that we were that were set in our division, we were swinging middle.
Oh, good. Were you a starter on your high school team?
Yeah.
Must be nice.
I was a starter every single year.
I was a bench warmer in high school. It was very sad.
That's okay. There's no problem with that.
Well,
but,
no, but it was like, okay. My team in high school did not do very well. We were not, we didn't even make it to ROPTA, much less OFSA. So it was like
Robsa.
as regionals.
Oh.
Like we I think we were playing like our quote unquote group stage, or we just didn't do well. And as a coach, first of all, our coach wasn't even coaching us. He had someone's mom coaching us. Mind you, she was a good coach because her daughter plays on Team Canada right now. So she was a good coach. I think personally, I just was not good at volleyball back in high school. That being said, our starting lineup obviously didn't do well enough to get us to go to anything like higher than whatever we were doing. So I thought it would be more fair if he let the seniors play because it's our last year in high school. And I was a little frustrated because I'm like, I joined this team and the only touches I get are in practice. But then our practices are kind of like nonchalant as well. They weren't very serious. So I was like, I would appreciate maybe some court time because I'm graduating this year. So it's like, why not let the seniors play if we're not even going to go compete in like regionals or like provincials? That being said,
You like to say that being said.
I do. That's like my new thing. Do you remember when I used to have what was my line that I used to say a lot? I fear this.
Yeah, you've been saying that a lot less.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
That's like my new quirk. Anyways, so around the end of the year, I remember he finally gave me some court time, but it was only in the back row. And now that I think back on it, I was actually a lib, but I never got the clout that comes with being a lib because my jersey was the same color as everyone else's. So basically, it was. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was in high school, every time I would see like one of the girls with like a different color jersey, I'd be like, "Wow, she must be like the captain or something." It's just the lib, but still, it was like I wanted to look cool.
True.
I was a high school student. I was obviously insecure about the way I looked and stuff.
You want to be the Nishinoya?
I did. So I was like an unofficial lib because again, he never gave me I never got a different colored jersey or anything. I was just a normal player. And then he would sub out the middle for me. every time they were in the back. But then every time I rotated to the front, he would take me off. And I'm just like, yo, man, like, I want to hit the ball. I couldn't hit the ball. I didn't know how to hit the ball. I was so bad at volleyball in high school. I'm surprised I even made the team. But that's my story about being a bench warmer in high school.
I don't think there's a problem with being a bench warmer.
I don't think so. I got a lot better. I'm not mad about it now. I think if my high school coach or volleyball coach could see me now, he would probably eat his sock. But
running a full volleyball or
yeah, I think like in retrospect, I feel a lot better about myself now. But again, I'm also much older, so
yeah. I remember like in high school, like I think in high school, like you're young, you don't really like from your birth up till whatever, like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's all the life you've lived. So your comparison of like what good is for volleyball is very small compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
And I think that also helps you like get better as the years go by.
I think high school players have gotten a lot better over time, though. I'm watching some of the like 16U and up teams play. Like, I'm pretty sure Pac-Man's like 16U women's team could probably like demolish an intermediate run at Tsunami.
I think they've stayed relatively. I don't know. To me, I think they've stayed relatively like the same.
That might be because you probably played in a higher division than I did when we were in high school.
We played in Quad A.
Yeah, we were not Quad A, so there you go.
Yeah. But like again, like teams in Toronto were crazy.
That is true. Yeah.
Like people in there were teams that had full like all the players on the team were from Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, my younger brother actually tried out for his high school volleyball team. I personally think my younger brother is actually kind of cracked at volleyball. He's like exactly the type of middle blocker you would sub out for a lib because he can't pass. But I thought he was pretty good. Like
he did not make it.
He didn't, and when
you know why?
Because every single player on that team plays club or rep.
Yeah.
So he came back from like tryouts, and I'm pretty sure he was just like, I'm not gonna make the team. And we were like, why? And he was like, because every single person that came to like the tryouts or who I think is gonna make the team is all club and varsity. Like they all play for like either, you know, Pac-Man, or they play for like another pretty well known like rep team. So
I'm pretty sure the team that my high school lost against when we were in contention for OFSA, I think half of them were playing on a club, or I don't know which club, but they were playing, like you could tell that they were club players.
yeah.
They were tall and they were swinging like crazy,
Yeah.
and they're jumping so high. So it was like,
Must be nice.
there's no way. We went all the way to 5 sets.
Hey, you know what? Good for you.
Yeah, we lost that game because the ref was blowing his whistle like so trigger happy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was such a dumb call, and even my coach was like, "Why did you make that call?
Yeah.
Why don't you just continue the
Yeah.
game?"
That's funny.
It sucks, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
How do you feel about so some of the tournaments that we go to, playoffs are self-refed or they're refed by another team? How do you feel about self-refs?
Self-refs.
Yeah.
You know, now that I think about it, I think it might actually help to maybe not even give guidelines, but give like a quick like refresher on signals, either signals or like what to look for when you're refereeing, because I think when I first started to referee, the first time I started refereeing was the intramural sports,
Right.
for volleyball, because volleyball has so many like discrepancies, like so many like technicalities. It's almost the same thing as like reffing basketball.
It's a little subjective.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be I mean, yes, actually, it's subjective until you understand like kind of like how or the reasons why you make the calls.
Hmm.
And you kind of just have to learn how to put your foot down.
Yeah.
But um, when I first started refing, I was lost.
It's hard.
I think it's the same thing with a lot of these like self ref
Yeah.
or self officiated games because you don't know what to look
It's
for.
hard. I will say, like, I'm at fault for this a lot, but I get mad at some refs for bad calls. But sorry, excuse me. But when you're up there refing, it's like a completely different thing. It's like everyone wants to criticize a ref until they get up there and ref themselves, because like calling people on nets and doubles and stuff, it's like you got to do it like in the moment, and you have to do it with your whole chest.
I will say though, there are definitely bad refs out there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like I don't want to I don't want to dive too deep into it, but um, I think that what matters when you are self officiating is not watching the ball all the time. It's watching where where the fault could happen.
Yeah.
So, like for example, on the serve, I'm not watching the ball. I don't care where the ball's about to go. If it goes over, that's great. But at the serve, what matters if this is something that you need to call is the foot fault
Yeah.
or um, let's say up at the net, like when they're about to hit the ball.
You look at the net instead of the ball.
Yeah, I think if people don't like know, I don't think people know that, or
Well,
like the
yeah.
typical like player will know to
The
look at
instinct
that.
is to look at the ball. Your
Yeah.
instinct is to follow where the ball is going. But again, it's a lot harder to ref than you think. So for those that are going into tournaments and stuff, like give your refs a little bit of a break. It's hard.
It's hard.
It is hard. I've gotten yelled at by teams before for making bad calls, and I will admit it was a bad call on my behalf. But yeah, like I've gotten yelled at straight up by like two teams at the same time because I made a bad call.
I mean, you do get used to it, and I think that's a part of learning
Mhm.
how to rep, because you
Yes.
like coming out of that, you understand like why teams might have gotten like mad
Oh yeah,
at you.
I get it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you move on.
That being said, me and Mark are looking to get our OVA certifications. So
Yeah, eventually.
eventually, when that time comes, if I make a call, I'm gonna be like, I'm with the OVA. It's gonna be a while before we get that done, but I'm very excited for that to happen in the future.
It would be cool.
It would be
yeah.
cool, yeah. So that being said,
That
I
being
I
said-
did it again.
that being
What is
said,
another good way of what's another good synonym of that being said?
what, like a good segue?
A segue. Yo, when was the last time you saw a Segway? Sorry, guys, I haven't seen a Segway in so long.
I think last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do Segway tours downtown.
Can you imagine playing volleyball on like one of those
You would die.
automatic scooter thingies?
Yes, you would die.
That'd be so
Hoverboard, you
funny.
would die. Straight up, you would die.
Do you ever miss playing volleyball? Because I know you do a lot more organizing, and I know we talked about you getting the itch once in a while. But do you ever miss playing in like tournaments and stuff?
Like yes and no. Tournaments I'm so done with. Like unless there's a team that I've played with, or because I think the thing with tournaments is most of the time you're going into tournaments with new teams, new players, and then maybe like one or two people on the team are gonna be people who you've played with already. But you know, every single time you have a new team, it's different chemistry. So I studied psychology, and one of the things that I've learned when I was studying psychology is the development of a group. So when you're developing groups, this is based on some old dude. There's like certain stages that a group will go through before they fully become like a cohesive group. Norming, no. Forming, norming, storming, performing, adjourning. Those are the five. Yeah. So norming, you or forming, you create the team. norming, you're creating kind of like how you interact with each other. Storming is where things hit the fan, which happens all the time with new teams in a tournament,
That is true.
because you have no idea, you have no idea, or as little, not as like much of an understanding of how your people are, um like of how they interact with you and how you are going to react or interact with them. So you go to these tournaments and everything's like fine and dandy, and then you shank 11 serves in a row. How do you respond to that person?
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you get yelled at? Do you get encouraged?
You know what? I will say that a lot of the teams that I've seen win tournaments are usually teams that have been playing together for quite a while.
Yeah,
Like
because they've
yeah.
gone past the storming stage and they're now at the performing,
Right.
and there you go. That's the reason why I don't do tournaments. But I do miss it every now and then. I do more organizing, but uh, I don't know. I'm at a good amount of volleyball nowadays.
Is there anything that you would recommend to teams that are looking to join tournaments?
Practice.
Mm. Scrimmage.
Yeah, scrimmage. Like, find the problems on your team. Like, if you go into a tournament without like knowing how your team plays, you don't understand the holes, and then you're stuck trying to figure out like what the problems are in your team. As you're doing the competition, it's just too much thinking. Everybody's in the heat of the moment. Like, it's hard to determine what you need to do better as a team in that moment.
Yeah, don't expect too much, honestly. Just have fun. I think a lot of teams are so focused on winning that they overlook the whole have fun. Like me and Mark are doing we're joining a rec tournament in February just for fun, where we're supporting the organization that is organizing it. Shout out to Vortex Volleyball. We're excited to come by to your tournament. But going into this tournament again, like, I expect nothing.
Yeah.
I'm there to have fun. I'm not there to win. I'm not there with the expectation of winning. You know, I'm there to have fun, encourage our team to, you know, play their best and have fun as well.
Yeah, I think that's what tournaments should be for.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to win, you should win, but do it properly.
Oh, yeah. And this is overlooked a lot, but please stretch before your tournaments.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Please stretch. Please drink water. Please eat a full breakfast. Don't be like me and drinking apple juice before a tournament and then throwing it all up.
I don't know if you can hear our dog, but
She's just trying to sleep right now. The neighbors are
she's
banging
agreeing with
upstairs.
you.
Yeah. Like, they're banging stuff on the walls. Just
Yeah.
to put some context into that. Yeah. But I think that a lot of teams are so focused on winning that they get this like tunnel vision. And then after, like, you know, they stop talking and all this kind of, oh my goodness.
I think the other thing is like I think it's important to understand that it's a lot worse. You're doing your team a disservice by not encouraging your teammates when they make mistakes.
I've gotten into that too. I've gotten in my own head before and stopped encouraging my team. I'm like, whoever this team is, like, they know who they are. I'm so sorry, because I got in my own head.
Yeah.
So
If I think like the whole point of volleyball is to maybe not the whole point, but I think one of the biggest aspects of volleyball is the encouragement and lifting your team up when they're down. Like, if you see that, you'll see this in Haikyuu. It's with one person is when what's his name? Asahi is not swinging the ball properly, you got Nishinoya to pick him up.
Yo, I just finished IQ. My goodness, what a show! I think
She did not finish it. She's missing.
I did not watch the movie, but I did finish the show. I think everyone should watch that show because you learn a lot about volleyball. You learn a lot about there's a portion in it where they teach you how to split step. It's crazy. It's a good show. I think everyone who is looking to get into volleyball more should watch the show because you learn a lot. You learn a lot. Like you learn that honestly, I think a lot of people think that volleyball is just hitting the ball hard and looking cool. I disagree. I think volleyball involves a lot more than just hitting a ball hard.
Mhm.
Like, what do you think is the most important skill that you can learn in volleyball?
I think the most important aspect is, well, I mean, I think like the first part of volleyball that you'll ever learn is how to pass. Like you learn how to bump, you learn how to overhand pass. So, and if you can't do that, then really you can't keep playing the game. So if you can't pass, then what's the point of playing? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think like we just think the first thing that happens when you receive the serve is you have to pass the ball up to the setter, and if you can't give a beautiful buttery pass to your setter, then how can you expect a perfect buttery set?
Yeah, I will say a lot of players overlook the passing aspect of the game.
I mean, like, I surprisingly, a lot of people in our community
In our community, not so
are
much.
they're very humble. Like they're always like, I gotta do better. I gotta improve myself, and
Mhm.
that's kind of like, like why we keep on doing these
Right.
clinics too.
Yeah.
So
I am going to talk about this term. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. Have you ever heard about the term ego hitter, Mark?
oh my goodness,
So
what about an ego hitter?
this is going to be a very hot take because
Am I an ego hitter?
you are not actually.
I hope not.
Again, I'm not the best player in the world, but I would like to think at least that I do have the self-awareness to recognize where I can improve. For example, my hitting is not very polished. I think my hitting could use a lot of work. I also think my serving can use a lot of work. I'm making a very cringe face right now. My serving needs a lot of work. If you have ever seen me play, my overhand serves are either incredibly good.
Yeah, how do we describe them?
When it's
When it's say this together.
when it's good, it's great.
It's great. When it's come on. When it's bad, come on. Say with me.
I can't
When
do
it's
that.
bad, it's horrendous.
It's horrendous. It's either I get an ace, or I get a pass back over the net, or we lose the point because I serve it under the net.
Polar opposites. Yeah,
It's my serves need a lot of work. But
it's a gamble.
that being said,
That being said,
I'm
I'm gonna repeat you every single
actually,
time you say that.
I think that I think my hitting needs a lot of work. Recently, when I've started to play drop-ins, I find that people don't block me anymore, and to me that's like a very big insult. It means my hits aren't threatening enough that people need to block. They'd rather just leave it open so someone can dig it.
I think that people want to block you.
I think that a lot of people in our community want to block me, but when we play, like, for example, the GTA drop-ins, like GTA drop-ins are usually a lot higher level than our Tsunami drop-ins, in my opinion. I don't get blocked.
GTA, aren't we doing a tournament with them?
We are doing a female women's tournament with GTA.
What day?
Oh my goodness, we're doing a female women's tournament. I don't know why I'm saying female and women's in the same sentence, but February 1st. There's 3 spots left in the competitive division. For the maybe 10 or 15 people that are listening to this, if you want to put in a team, registration is still open. We're also doing a Short Kings tournament with them in the summer. TBD. Speaking of Short Kings, you know how there's always there's so many more formats coming out. Like there's reverses, there's Short Kings, there's there's women. Next thing you know, there's gonna be like
Yeah. What's the
reverses,
next best thing?
reverses. It's like all men in the front and then all women in the back.
That sounds terrible.
I would be terrified. I'd be scared for my life.
Yeah, that sounds like a wreck.
I would be scared. Yeah. Do you think that that's like kind of the right direction to go in, like with all these new formats coming out?
Oh, well, whoever did Short Kings,
Whoever came up with that idea, genius.
I honestly think that might have been. I don't know. I'm not sure, but
Probably Matt
I
Jen.
feel like I feel like Matt Jen was
Yeah,
one of the
Matt Jen.
first people. If he's not the first one, he's definitely popularized it. So
He has.
shout out
Yo,
to Matt Jen.
Matt Jen walked so we could run. Like he
Yeah.
is running probably some of the best tournaments in the GTA in my opinion right now.
He's doing a lot. He is doing a lot, and we definitely like appreciate like having being able to like talk to him and
Yeah.
talk about tournaments. And
My
stuff like that.
favorite game to play is how many games is Matt gonna play before he takes his shirt off?
Oh my goodness.
Someone said that
If
to me the
he-
other day, and I was like, that is
hears
so
this-
funny.
If he hears this, he's gonna be so embarrassed. I hope not. But yeah, I think with like different formats, I mean it's very smart. It's um s- a lot of these different formats still retain the integrity of the game while adding a little bit of just the small enough change that it makes it different and makes it fun.
I think it promotes a lot more skills that are required. Like for like example, reverses requires the women to block. You maybe it's just me because I don't play a lot of high level volleyball, but in lower level volleyball, I don't see a lot of women actually block. And I think they should. I think if you are tall and you can clear the net, I think you should try and block. So I think playing reverses is like forcing you to learn how to do that skill. I would say my blocking has gotten a lot better since I started playing reverses.
Yeah, I mean yeah, like reverses. What else is there? I think Short Kings was definitely something that changes up the game a little bit. I mean again with like Short Kings, it's just a bunch of guys who are vertically challenged.
It's
I mean,
6 feet and
am.
under, but then like I'm watching people come to these tournaments and I'm like, are you sure that person is under 6 feet?
Well, it's subjective.
It is subjective.
It's just a number.
It is nice though seeing all these different variations come out because it's kind of like there's something for everyone.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Even like how Action Zone does the
reverse pairs?
Like,
Was fun.
That was we did the reverses pairs and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, who knows what's next? Like I'm even like on my drives I'll be like racking my brain like trying to think of the next best thing, but it's kind of hard because you have like all the parameters of like volleyball, but and you don't want to change it too much where it's like okay now I have to learn all these new rules.
Yeah.
Like reverses is fine. You're not rotating.
Short Kings is fine too. It's just basically there's just a height requirement.
Yeah, and then
There's not really
Yeah,
much else
like-
out there actually now that I think about it.
I mean you can probably
Hmm.
like try to think of something, but yeah it's hard to think about with all the like restrictions that you have.
I do want to also talk about just gear, like volleyball gear.
What about
Do
gear?
you think that having proper gear is relative to performance?
Okay, what do you
I'm talking about like shoes or like knee pads or like, stuff like that.
having proper
Like those insoles that claim to increase your vertical by like a certain amount. They're also like extremely expensive. I would not be caught buying those because I do not have that kind of money.
Yeah, I think it does matter cuz like I had Asics before my Mizunos. They're Mizunos, right? Yeah, they are. So I had Asics before Mizunos, and the toe box was so big that when I was like doing any side to side motion, it almost felt like my shoe was going to fall off my feet. And then I have like narrower feet, so I have like women's Mizunos. Also, much nicer than the men's version. So because it's gold, not silver.
Oh yes, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're nice. They're very cushiony.
Mhm.
So when you land, it doesn't like you don't feel the shock throughout your legs.
Mhm.
Probably better for my knees too.
Yeah.
Um, and it definitely helped me improve playing the game.
Mhm.
So proper. I think it's important to get equipment that best suits your ability and your body,
Mm.
because different people will have smaller, wider feet,
Mhm.
bigger, smaller feet.
Yeah.
They'll be able to jump higher.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, there's so many like aspects to or differences in every single player that I think that you should take the time to figure out like what you need out of your shoe or your knee pad. So I think it matters.
Mhm.
I don't think you have to get like Wades.
How do you feel about the Wades?
I don't know. I've never worn them, so
I think I've never worn them either. I'll be honest. I think Wade's. This is gonna.
you're gonna piss me off.
Actually, no. I think Wade's is arguably one of the better shoes on the market right now. I think the toe box is a little wide. Like if you have narrower feet like Mark, I don't think it would really suit you. But from what I hear from a lot of people who have them, it is probably the best shoe on the market right now.
I think that they're
But they're expensive.
probably, yeah. I think they're probably one of the best shoes out there.
Yeah.
For the court.
It's
Like, in general.
Yeah, it's a good shoe, but again, like you're paying for what you get. Like way of Wade's, like the high tops are I think $360 plus tax. So you're paying nearly $500 for a volleyball shoe. If I'm paying $500 for a volleyball shoe, it should last me probably 5 to 10 years. Okay, wait, no. I'm talking about a jacket now. No, I think it should last me anywhere from like 2 to 5 years. When I first started playing volleyball, also I think it depends on what you want to do as well. Like if you're going into volleyball and you want to be a lib, you don't need shoes that give you like cushioning and boost. You need shoes that are more versatile and can help you move side to side faster. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you're if you're a hitter, then obviously you want shoes that have more cushioning and can give you more like explosive power.
Yeah, I think a good way, I think, to relate to it personally is I bought the Asics because they're closer to the floor. Like the cushioning for your feet are closer to the floor. Because I'm not jumping, but I'm moving side to side, and I need to feel the floor.
Yeah.
Whereas the shoes that I have now, they're a little bit taller or higher off the floor, but it means that there's more cushioning. So when I do jump, my feet don't,
Exactly.
like my knees don't buckle when I land.
I'm gonna sound like a spoiled brat. I actually own 3 pairs of volleyball shoes right now. So
How many pairs do you wear
one.
regularly? That's
So when I first started playing, I think I bought they're not the hyper sets, the hyper something. Hyper, it's like it's a Nike shoe.
Boost.
Hyper Boost?
I don't know.
Hyper Race, I think. It's the old ones. Yes, it's the Hyper Speed is what it's called, the Nike Hyper Speeds. That shoe, in my opinion, is a very good libero shoe because it has a lot of grip. It's a low shoe, so you can move your ankle side to side if you need to. Other than that, it gives me no boost. There's no cushioning. I can barely jump with it without landing and my knees buckling. But that's what I first started playing volleyball with. And also there's no tongue, so it's kind of like it's a very low shoe. Then I remember the Sabrina ones came out and everyone was talking about this shoe being like the next big court shoe, so I ended up buying a pair. This shoe is so incredibly heavy. It's like, why not just wear Jordans at this point? They're heavier than my Jordans.
So the ones that we have now.
The ones that I have now, they're the Mizuno Wave Momentum 3s. They're the newest Wave Momentum series.
They're probably
the best. Yeah. Like all around, it's not expensive. It's not cheap either. It's $200 I think right now.
Well, we got lucky because we bought them.
We got them on sale at Team Town Sports, but they're, I think, in my opinion, the best all around shoe right now. I think Mizuno is like it's good because you get the cushioning, you get the grip. And it's not bulky either. It's a light shoe.
They're very
They're
light.
very light.
I was very surprised. Like
Yeah.
when I think Jess was trying to push me to buy Wade's.
I really wanted him to get weights because everyone had them. I thought they were like, there's one right now. It's like the one with the lightning bolt on the side.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
ones are, I think,
They look
they look cool. They're $180. They look heavy.
Yeah.
So
I think the one I don't know. I didn't really feel comfortable like not trying them on.
Yeah.
And buying them.
the guy who I wanted to buy them off of insisted that Mark tries them on with a plastic bag over it.
That was crazy. But when we tried the Wave Momentum in store, like it felt like I was walking on clouds.
It was nice. They're nice shoes.
Holy.
Yeah.
And even when I put them on, like it doesn't even feel like a shoe. It feels like a sock.
Yeah.
Because they're so light, they're so cushiony.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's I think it's important to get
Mhm.
a shoe that fits your needs.
Yeah, I would say at our level, honestly, it's not like the most important thing that you find like the absolute best shoe for yourself. I think just a standard court shoe will do the trick. Like if you're looking to save money, Asics has really good budget shoes. But if you have like the money to spend, obviously like buy a pair of Mizuno's or buy a pair of the Wades. Nike also has some really good court shoes, but the only thing I have to say about Nike is that their shoes wear down very quickly.
Mhm.
Like the wear and tear is quite fast on them. They're not as durable as I'd like them to be, but
I mean, you're only wearing them like, well, it depends on how much volleyball. Like some of the people that are in our community will play like 7 hours of volleyball like 5 times a week.
then you want a more durable shoe, obviously.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I had to throw my Nikes out after a year because the inside, not the inside of the shoe, but like the inner part of my foot has started to wear where you can see my
Oh.
sock. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them what I do to prevent that?
Mark puts a piece of athletic tape on his
Hear me
shoe.
out. Hear me out. I don't know what it is. I think it because it comes from my badminton, but I drag my feet. I don't know when I do it, but it just happens.
I think when you dive.
Ah, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's probably why. Yeah, I drag my feet a lot,
Yeah.
and specifically at that part. So I put athletic tape on it.
Hmm. It is.
So-
It's doing its job, man.
Yeah, I mean I had to replace it the other
Yeah.
day because it was peeling off, but it helps.
How about this? How do you feel about knee pads?
You know how I feel about knee pads.
Mark does not wear knee pads, but I wear knee pads.
I don't like wearing. Well, okay. I think it came from my coach because I had knee pads when I first started playing in high school in grade 9, and I remember my coach saying, if you want to learn how to like dive properly or be more careful when you're like digging a ball like deep, then you want to practice without knee pads. Some of the best players don't have knee pads on.
Most of Team Japan wears knee pads.
Yeah, okay, but the Japanese are very like you know,
Mhm.
they're
I
very technical and
So what would you say for a beginner then?
wear knee pads. It's fine.
Yeah. I
Like-
will. Sorry, go.
No, I was just gonna say like it's fine wearing knee pads. It's no problem.
I would say that it does promote like bad habits, like relying on your knees too much. Yo, I was out here sliding on my knees in middle school with my bulky knee pads, and it took a while for me to fix that habit. So
Yeah, I think it's okay when you first start, but I think when you get better and when you want to learn how to kind of move around the court faster.
it does limit your movement.
Yeah, I think that was the reason why I stopped. I used to like I pretty much had it until like grade 10,
Oh yeah.
and then they kind of just got ripped up and I stopped using
Yeah.
it. So
I fear I have to wear them. I can't do it. I'd rather be a little more limited on my mobility than destroy my knees.
that's okay. I think that's fine. Like honestly, like if you need knee pads, wear knee pads.
Mhm.
There's no problem with it. But if you want to learn how to like dive more, then
It's proper volleyball, is what you're saying. Like play proper.
I guess.
I think it depends on the person, honestly.
I think it takes a little bit of athleticism to dive properly.
Oh yeah,
It also takes a little bit of like breaking your habits
he's talking
to
about me diving into our.
grow yourself into the floor. I mean, like
I was
it takes time.
I was trying to learn how to dolphin dive the other day, and I was basically trying to dolphin dive into my dog's bed to figure out like the mechanics behind it. I still haven't figured it out. It's a big learning curve, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah, knee pads, shoes. What else are there?
that's about it.
What about like arm sleeves?
I
Why do you wear them?
So
Sometimes.
okay, the story behind it was when I was playing volleyball with my dad, and his older friends. They're very traditional. They don't really like people who have tattoos or piercings or anything like that. And I have tattoos like on my right arm. So I got the sleeves originally to cover the tattoos so they wouldn't see them. I feel that the reason why I think some people wear them is for the compression. Like it feels a little bit better with the sleeve like compressing your arm or something like that. Or I think when some people bump, the sleeve absorbs some of the impact. I only ever wore them because I had to cover my tattoos. And then now I usually wear one sleeve on my left arm, but I don't wear one on my right. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just me trying to look cool, but I just play a lot better like that.
I think people who wear arm sleeves look pretty badass. They look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Originally I wore it because it did absorb some of the impact from like digging a hit. But again, like my dad and his friends are like old, like they're not like bouncing balls on me, so like I never really needed it. But I think it just depends. It's not.
Yeah,
know?
I think arm sleeves. I think if you are receiving like really hard serves, I think it definitely
Oh, yeah.
helps with
Absorbing the
the
impact.
pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're necessary. I think, same with ankle braces. Like if you have not suffered an injury, okay, actually no, I'm gonna take that back. I think if you have weak ankles or you've suffered an injury, it might be worth it to wear an ankle brace. I think if you're playing high rec or rec volleyball, you should wear ankle braces. Because the amount of times that I've seen people step over the center line and hurt someone or hurt themselves is a lot more than it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ankle braces are definitely like I had to wear them for a while after like my ankle injury. You had to wear them for
Indefinitely, actually.
well, yeah, like you have to wear them like constantly. I think the only way to like really fix that is like maybe strength
I
training.
think strength training, conditioning, but like sometimes it's if the injury's bad enough, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to wear the brace. Same thing
Yeah, I
with.
know that.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say like I think the ankle like when you roll it like really really badly, there's definitely like tendons or ligaments that are done for.
Yeah, I am gonna talk about this because this does kind of mean a lot to me. I think safety when it comes to volleyball is something that not all players or a lot of players even, but some players overlook. Some players are too concerned about the point, even if it's a drop in, they're too concerned about the point than being safe or considerate of other people's safety. And the reason for this, I'm going to talk about the my ankle injury because it was pretty bad. So we went to play a tournament in I think Toronto. It was a pretty like low intermediate tournament. It wasn't even like that bad of a. It wasn't like very high level in my opinion. We were also playing 6-2, and I straight up was like, I don't know how to play 6-2. I have no clue how to set from back row because I'm not that good. But basically, there was a guy who went up to hit, and I was trying to block him, and he stepped over the line, and my ankle basically went inwards like 90 degrees, and it was just we don't have the video anymore. It's gone, but it was disgusting. Like my ankle rolled inwards. I heard a pop. And then I like fell over basically like crying because oh my god, it was like the worst pain I've ever been in. And I've had appendicitis. It was worse than my appendicitis in my opinion. But that guy was not very nice either. He never said sorry. He never came up to me to ask if I was okay. He just stood over me and he was like, "Oh, did you step on my foot?" And I'm like, "What do you think?" Like I'm on the ground crying and they basically had to carry me off the court. And I think first of all, in retrospect, I should have worn a brace. I should have worn an ankle brace.
Hindsight is always 20/20.
But all I'm gonna say about it is I think that, you know, if it's a tight ball, just and you think that you might step over the line, don't get it. Just leave it, because it's not worth it to injure yourself or someone else. And like I wish that guy was a little bit more aware, or he knew like exactly how severe the injury was, because I was out for like almost like a month. Like I tried playing volleyball the week after. I couldn't even put pressure on the foot. I was wearing a brace too, and I couldn't apply pressure to it. I couldn't walk. My ankle was basically like a grapefruit. It's kind of disgusting because my whole foot was bruised too.
It was the color of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Colors of the
And
rainbow.
I feel like he didn't really understand like the severity of like what had happened, and him and his whole team were just kind of like laughing it off and stuff and saying, "Oh, I stepped over a line," and blah blah blah. We watched the video back. I did not step over the line.
Yeah, I think that yeah, safety is definitely like number one.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially in high rec and rec. Like I think a lot of players just learning the game are unable to put the
Yeah.
brakes on when they approach.
I think it's like, if it's an honest mistake, I think it's definitely worth mentioning to people who are first learning how to play the sport.
Mhm.
And I understand like there's certain limitations when you're just starting out, like you don't know like the limitations of your body, and sometimes you like kind of just throw yourself towards the net and not knowing the outcome of
Yeah.
that action. But I think it's important to understand that you can put someone out for a whole month, 2 months, 3 months,
Yeah.
just because you can recognize that the ball was a little too tight. And like even in that level, you probably might not even realize that the ball was tight. But what were you
Yeah.
like? At least be a little bit mindful, like even in the intermediate or advanced, just be a little mindful. I
Yeah.
think that would.
Mark was pissed when I hurt my ankle. So.
Dude, I gave this guy like the death stare, like
Mhm.
the way that he was acting about it. And if you do, if you do cross a line and cause an injury, like don't be an ass about it. Like like you made a mistake. There's nothing you can do about like what you did, but at the same time, just as long as you're not an ass about it,
Yeah.
like people will usually like brush it off, no matter how like bad it is. Like people will usually like brush it off if you're
Mhm.
nice.
It was terrible. I was on the ground and I was like in tears.
And
It was
this guy
terrible. And this guy was just looking at me. He's like, "Oh, did you step on my foot?" I'm like, "Boy, you're the one that ran into the net when you hit the damn ball."
It's crazy.
Anyways. Yeah.
I think we're getting to about an hour. Is there anything?
Yeah, actually, I actually just really want to talk about our community for a bit, because I think without them, none of this would be possible. You know, I think that the community has been extremely supportive of everything that we're doing. Especially the OGs. You know who you are. There are people and even teams that come to our tournaments that have been coming since like Tsunami was really like starting off on its feet. And I think that without these people, like there's no way like we would ever be where we are now.
Yeah.
Even other organizations like in the GTA, like the ones that we're collaborating with in the new year, like the fact that they're willing to work with us, even though we're not that big of an organization, and they're willing to give us the time of day, like I really appreciate that personally.
Yeah. I the original reason why I wanted to run something like this was because I just wanted to create a wholesome community, and like looking at the people who come out to not only our like drop-ins and clinics, but also our tournaments. They've it kind of helps me. I don't know if I can speak for Jess, but it helps me kind of do more, push forward, and create better, bigger things.
Yeah.
And obviously we're not as big, but we'll like
We're big enough. I'm very happy with how much we've grown.
yeah, I just want to keep on um, expanding and having people, more and more people join our community and work with more organizations out there. I think there's so many organizations out right now that um, that I think are can kind of work with us and collab, and we can all, I think we can all benefit with from we could all benefit from kind of working together, especially right now. I think the volleyball community is small but big. Big but small. Small but big. Yeah, like there's so many people, but everybody knows everybody. So
my parents actually originally didn't believe that this would end up becoming what it is now, and
that's crazy.
They were kind of like a little skeptical about what I was doing. Like I told them like I'm helping Mark out with like this volleyball organization and stuff, and they were like, oh yeah, like is it doing okay, like how are you guys doing? And like the satisfaction I got. So I went to get bubble tea with my mom and dad and like my brother the other day. This was like in 2024, and I got recognized at a boba shop for being one of the organizers of Tsunami. And I remember my mom and dad were like, there's no way. They're like, how does this guy know you? And I was like, oh, he plays volleyball with me at our runs like that we organize and stuff. And my parents are like, the heck? And my brother's like, yo, you're famous? And I'm like, no, I'm not.
You're famous.
But it's like being recognized in public like that is crazy. Like I never thought it would get to that point. And even when we go to like other runs or other drop-ins or clinics or whatever, like people know us.
It's almost like it's too many people. No, it's not too many people. But it's like we go to a volleyball event. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's like saying hi to everybody.
It's nice. It's nice, knowing this many people in the community and stuff, and hearing what people have to say about our organization. Even like I wouldn't say like negative things, but like the constructive criticism that people have been giving us.
Yeah, we definitely like appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, like no one's perfect, right? But we can't really improve if we don't know what people want to see or what kind of improvement the community wants to see. So even like the comments that people have or the feedback that they have about what they want to see improve about the organization still really appreciated.
If honestly, if we didn't get that like feedback, we some of the things that we do right now would not have happened. So
yeah, that being said, we're gonna end the podcast here, but for the next one, if you guys like want to hear, I know it's me and Mark are pretty boring people, I fear, so if I'm pretty boring.
We'll see if people are
yeah, if you guys do have anything that like you want us to chat about, our messages or DMs are always open and stuff, so feel free to reach out if there's something you guys want to talk about. Hey, you know what, heck, we'll do a whole crash course on 5-1 if you guys want to learn how to play 5-1, but instead of like a very knowledgeable man on YouTube teaching you, it's me and Mark bantering with each other about if middle follow or power follow is better.
Couple average players.
But yeah, again, that's about it. That's our first podcast. Thanks for
wait, we gotta plug the our next events and stuff.
I haven't let me
sorry
let me cook. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, yeah, so that's our first podcast. If you stuck with us this far, we are hosting a bunch of events in the future. We have a 72 player drop-in happening this weekend. It is full, so I do apologize if you didn't want to attend that, but there will be very large drop-ins happening in the future again. Without Mark's permission.
Probably will be doing it again.
Again, we have the women's tournament coming up February 1st. We actually have a co-ed tournament coming up next week, if you're interested as well, for 2 at Action Zone. And in March, we have another women's tournament on the 15th. We're planning on... with TVC. Toronto Volleyball Cup. Pretty well-known organization as well. They're known for doing very, very good women's tournaments. And then in April, we're planning on doing a tournament with Stardom. We haven't figured out the date yet, but that's something we're aiming to have ready for you guys in April. Then May, we have Short Kings, May 17th with GTA. But again, all of this information can be found on our Instagram. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, it is the handle is here in the video. So if you do want to stay updated with everything going on, I would say our Instagram is the best way to do it. And if you want to join our WhatsApp, the link is also on our Instagram. So
Also check out, it's not out yet, but I'm almost done, I promise. Our website,
oh yes,
tsunamivolleyball.ca. We just started developing this, but hopefully it'll be done soon. This is where you can find all the drop-in events and clinic events. Right now only at Pac-Man, but we are looking to expand. But you could also find our tournament details, signups, all the standings and the schedule and all the
don't
details.
give it all away. Don't give it all away.
Yeah,
Let them
well,
find out
you
for
know,
themselves.
I gotta give a reason for them to check out the website
Yeah.
when it comes
Soon. Anyways, thanks so much for coming by, guys. We'll see you.
See you later.